Hi, my name's Evan, and today we're going to talk about voting in 2020. Go Voter PA. Today we're going to talk about voting rights and why your vote is important. This video was written and recorded by Self Advocates. It is a project of Self Advocates United as One for our Self Advocacy Support and Empowerment Project, also known as SASE. It is supported by a grant from the Pennsylvania Developmental Disabilities Council, in part by grant number 1901 PA-SCDD-02 from the U.S. Administration for Community Living, Department of Health and Human Services, Washington, D.C. 20201. Grantees undertaking projects with government sponsorship are encouraged to express freely their findings and conclusions. Points of view or opinions do not, therefore, necessarily represent official ACL policy. Self Advocates United as One, or SAU1, is an independent nonprofit in Pennsylvania. Our mission is to support the self-advocacy of people with disabilities for positive impact in our communities and in people's lives. Here we have a picture from our staff and board meeting in the fall of 2018. SAU1 thanks Self Advocates Becoming Empowered, also known as SABE, for its first work on this information, and for funding SAU1 to work with Disability Rights PA for helping people understand all about voting in Pennsylvania. All of the information in this video reflects what we knew at the date of recording. SAU1 advises you to check for updates around voting laws and issues. Use your power to check out and share the rest of our Go Voter PA videos. We'll discuss voting rights, why your vote is important, voter registration, how to check it and do it, power your vote, learn about who and what you may be voting for, use your power, help build a voting community, power your vote in place, mail-in and absentee ballots, and power your vote in person, polling places and your rights. And finally, power your vote, answers for questions or help with issues. Also check out and share pa-votes.org/SAU. A clear, easy-to-use website where you can find out if you're registered to vote, update your registration if it is incorrect, or register to vote if you haven't already. You can also request a mail-in or absentee ballot and ask to get an election reminder. PA-Votes works to get more people to use their right to vote. All of your information is kept private. SAU1 believes that knowledge is power. When we learn new things, we are powerful. So let's talk and learn about voting rights and why your vote is important. For many years, many people in the United States did not have the right to vote. Until 1920, only 100 years ago, women did not have the right to vote. The 19th Amendment in 1920 gave women the right to vote. Until 1965, Only 55 years ago, people of color did not have the right to vote. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 says that no person may be denied the right to vote because of their race or color. The Help America Vote Act, also known as HAVA, is a federal law which says that states must make sure that everyone can vote privately and independently. States must also have a way to give people provisional ballots if there is a question about whether they can vote. We'll talk more about that in our Power Your Vote in Person video. States must have a list on computer of all the voters in the state, and states must make sure polling places, which is where people go to vote, are accessible. Like many laws, not everyone or every place follows HAVA laws. Learn in our Power Your Vote video what to do if you feel these laws are not being followed at your polling place. In PA, it is against the law to not allow people to vote because they have a guardian. In PA, it is against the law to not allow people to vote because others say they are incompetent. The word incompetent means that a person is thought to not be able to make good, serious decisions, or isn't smart enough, or doesn't know enough. What does PA law say about being in jail or in prison? In Pennsylvania, any person with a criminal record who is or will be free by the time of the election has the right to vote. Any person in jail or prison for a misdemeanor conviction may vote with an absentee ballot. People who are on probation or parole may vote, and only people in jail or prison for a felony conviction are not allowed to vote. People who have been convicted of crimes against the PA voting laws cannot vote for 4 years. People convicted of crimes against the voting laws anytime from November 2nd of 2016 to November 3rd of 2020 cannot vote this year. Now that you know who has the right to vote in PA, let's talk about who can register so they can use their right to vote. Here are the rules in PA about who can register to vote. People who are or will be at least 18 years old on election day. You must live in the district you plan to vote in for at least 30 days before election day. You must be a citizen of the United States for at least 1 month. You can learn more about voter registration in our next video, Go Voter PA, Voter Registration. Check it or do it. You can also go now to pa-votes.org/SAU to check your registration or to register to vote and apply for a mail-in ballot. Now that you know about people's right to vote, let's talk about why it's important to use your right to vote. People and their families change their communities, schools, and lives. How did they do that? They spoke up. When we speak up together, we have a powerful voice. And voting is a great way to speak up. Vote as if your life depends on it, because it does. Justin Dart, lifelong self-advocate, thought of as the father of the Americans with Disabilities Act, said these words often. In this picture, Justin is the person wearing a hat, while President George H.W. Bush signs the ADA. Also in the picture are Evan Kemp, Chairman of the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, seated, and standing behind him is Minister Harold Wilk. Also standing is an unidentified person. Here are some reasons we think voting is important. Voting is a right many of us have that others may not have. Voting is important to get the person we think is best in a government job. Voting is also important in order to make changes in your local community, in your state, and in our country. And voting is important so that our voices are heard. So why is voting important to you? You've learned about voting rights and why we should use them. Who might you share your power with and tell them about our Go Voter videos? You could tell your family, your friends, your coworkers, any groups that you might belong to, or clubs that you might be in. You could also tell your faith communities. You can just tell anyone. Remember, knowledge is power. So use your power to check out and share all of our Go Voter PA videos. We'll discuss voting rights. Your vote is important. And voter registration. Check it or do it. Power your vote. Learn about who and what you may be voting for. And use your power. Help build a voting community. Power your vote in place. Mail-in and absentee ballots. Power your vote in person. Polling places and your rights. And lastly, power your vote. Answers for questions or help with issues. SAU1 thanks the thousands of self-advocates and families in the past who paved the way for self-advocacy, and the PADDC for funding this information and video, and PA Votes and the Pennsylvania Housing Alliance for funding our help to get folks registered and voting. And thank you. Remember, knowledge is power. Use it to make your vote count. You can contact us at Self Advocates United as One Incorporated at SAU1 428 South Main Street, Suite 3, Greenville, Pennsylvania 16125. You can call us at 724-588-2378 or email us info@sau1.org. You could check out our website at www.sau1.org. Like us on Facebook. You can search for us at SAU1PA or follow us on Twitter at SpeakUpSAU1.